MVPBS is the world's #1 source for island news in the arts, culture, entertainment, and education, featuring exclusive film. Coming up next on Martha's Vineyard Public Broadcasting Station, from the Oak Bluff Senior Center, it's Senator Jan Wolf. Healthy economy, healthy community. From Martha's Vineyard Island, MVPBS.
Sworn in, I went from being part of the solution to being part of the problem. And I offer myself up as that so that you can continue to raise the bar and hold me accountable for the stuff that we believe as Democrats. There are not enough elected Democratic officials that are acting according to the party platform. Now that may sound like heresy, but unless we look in the mirror and ask our elected officials to do it, that's not going to change. And this is not a random wandering statement. This goes right into business and entrepreneurship, because I want to talk about that for a second. The economy and our business community, relative to our democratic values and principles and our beliefs, is doing two things that need to be looked at and need to change. One is they're directly contributing to the incredible disparity in income and wealth that exists in the country. Now the platform does talk about it, but it doesn't talk about it in the context of business and entrepreneurship. And I think we as Democrats need to own the business agenda. My goal is to say, no, the Republican Party is not the pro-business party. We are the pro-business party. Because we know that business and entrepreneurship are capable of addressing the unprecedented disparity of wealth and income that has emerged over the last 30 years in this country. So in the context of an economy that is failing us Democrats in that regard, i.e. economic disparity in income, and then on the other side of the equation, the outcomes from our business community. And it's so cool to hear today, we talk about food production. Monsanto, a very healthy business relative to what it returns to shareholders, a very unhealthy business as far as how it delivers nutrition. McDonald's, Burger King, fast food, very healthy businesses, but not healthy as far as what they deliver to our citizens from a nutrition standpoint. So from a business community, we need to look at a healthy economy. We need to also look at healthy outcomes. So food production would be one, energy would be one, healthcare would be one, financial services would be one. And I think as Democrats, we need to draw the connection between what is a healthy business as defined traditionally by a return to investor, or is it profitable or does it survive, and healthy outcomes as far as how those businesses are impacting our communities. And in any of those sectors of the economy, we as Democrats should be able to say, financial services, Bank of America is a profitable company, but it's failed relative to communities and individuals, right? And you can look at any sector of the economy. We talked about energy earlier. The structure of our energy and utility right now, healthy as far as return to shareholders, certainly healthy as far as providing for those at the top, those executives, but certainly not healthy as far as investing long-term in infrastructure, sustainability, renewable energy, and dealing with global warming issues. So that when we define what our business plan is going to look like, we need to do it in a much more balanced way. We need to say, yes, we believe in healthy businesses, because I am a capitalist. I do believe that our economic system, that the capitalist economic system, delivers innovation, delivers efficiency, can provide in ways that no other economic system can. But I think it can only do that if we have a strong government saying the outcomes from what you're doing need to be delivered in a way that brings us to healthy communities, healthy individuals, healthy families. So I would propose that the platform articulate that balance. We believe in an economic system that allows for investment and entrepreneurship and evolution. but we only believe in it to the degree that it brings us to long-term outcomes that are consistent with what our values and our beliefs are. So I think that's where we're headed. Now, you can't talk about that without also bringing in ownership models, because one of the things that we've learned over time is certain ownership models deliver outcomes that are more consistent with healthy economy, healthy community. And for example, utilities. Investor-owned utilities bring us nuclear power plants that don't make sense in our backyard. Ratepayer and user-owned utilities might bring us something that's more consistent both with short-term and long-term goals. Okay? A mutual bank, for example, which you have, I think there's a mutual bank here on the island, versus an investor-owned bank, brings you very different outcomes. An employee-owned company, such as Cape Air, brings you a very different outcome than an American Airlines. So I think that there are several threads that run through what I think that we as Democrats want to see in a business platform. But I think we need to reaffirm that we can have healthy businesses, and we can support those and invest in them. We can have entrepreneurship, but we also can do that in a balanced way that delivers both in the short term, but I think in some ways, as Democrats, even more in the long term. Where do we want to be in 20 years? And what do we need to be doing today to get us there in 20 years? So this is long-winded only because there's no plank existing to talk off of. So this is evolutionary. That's the thoughts. I don't know, Patty, if we want to, in the breakout group, want to have a conversation about what people might want to hear more about.
Questions, comments, that we might take 5 minutes to do that?
I love what you're saying, and I'm just wondering if even if it would belong in the preamble as well as in the plank to say that the overriding consideration in many ways of the platform is health. The health of the people, the health of the planet, the health of business, the health of government. I just think it's a terrific approach to take. And as opposed to saying you could have this and have healthy people, I think my thought is you cannot have a healthy economy unless you also have healthy people and a healthy planet.
And so that gets to a really interesting point, which is we as Democrats have embraced measurement tools on the economy that are really the Republicans' tools. We look at GDP, we look at employment numbers, and we look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That is insane. When you look at what our principles and values are as Democrats, we should be looking at things like access to education, livable wages, class mobility. I mean, these are the things that if we really believe, why do we read the front page of the paper and even accept the language? Very much reminds me of the pro-choice, pro-life struggle that went on that I think, we're precarious in that one too. If we allow them to define these as the metrics, we can never get to the outcomes we want, because you can have full employment if everyone's working at Walmart, right? You can have a high stock market where all of those proceeds are flowing to the top, but the stock market looks healthy. You can have a GDP that looks healthy, but that's not providing for the people. So, I think that we need to actually change the metrics and the measurement tools. And it's painful every time I see our president or our governor, both of whom are lifelong and certainly from a value standpoint, embrace our values. But they're using tools that don't actually measure what we believe in as far as how well we're doing. And I think that should be in the preamble.
And
MVPBS is the world's #1 source for island news in the arts, culture, entertainment, and education, featuring exclusive film. Look for us on the web, MVPBS.